Vice President Hubert Humphrey, having completed the ancient tribal ceremony of becoming a presidential candidate, we can now expect to witness another sort of ritual. Perhaps a better phrase might be balancing act, as President Johnson attempts to support Mr. Humphrey without supporting him too much. This is not an entirely new situation. When an incumbent president steps aside and his vice president then seeks the presidency, both men are on something of a spot. The man running for president wants to seem reasonably independent. The incumbent chief executive wants to support him as a matter of continuing the policies of his own administration. In times past, this has turned out to be quite a delicate task. This was the case in 1960 involving President Eisenhower and his vice president, Richard Nixon. There are at least two quite obvious reasons why Mr. Johnson will do what he can to help Humphrey win the nomination. One is to defend the policies and programs of his Great Society administration, and the other is to see that Senator Robert Kennedy does not get the nomination. Once the Democratic Convention next August decides who indeed will be the presidential nominee, the road ahead for Mr. Johnson becomes relatively simple. He supports the candidate of his party and makes no secret of it, unless, of course, the nominee wants him to stay out of the campaign. This has happened in years past. However, the truly touchy period will be these weeks between now and the convention. This is when Senator Kennedy and Senator Eugene McCarthy probably will attempt to picture Humphrey as sort of a Johnson puppet, and Humphrey will be attempting to emphasize his independence without seeming to reject LBJ and the Great Society. This is Merriman Smith, UPI, the White House.